These are the things I wish they would ask themselves and each other before they go out there. All right, so here's that spot from Bad Blood that James was talking about. Basically, this is a setup for a power bomb spot that Bayley is going to walk out. By the way, I feel like this is extremely dangerous, and the risk versus reward, even with this, Bayley could blow her knee out. They could slip. This, I hate to even bring it up. This had a little bit of a flashback to D'Lo and Draws when she started stepping out from the corner. I was like, she's not going to do like a Liger bomb or try to run with her. And even taking those steps out, Nia is trying to support, having her up here. But at the same time, it's all dead weight that you need to kind of pop your hips and then power bomb her. So that didn't happen. But what happened could have been even more dangerous. And I know what they were trying to do. And as we look at this right here, come out frame by frame, this is what I'm talking about. Nia is set. I will say, her feet are wrapped around Bayley's hips in the front. That's smart. She's locked in. She knows they're ready to go. So I have to give the girls credit that they took their time and didn't rush this particular thing. They made sure they were set. Nia's holding on to that turnbuckle, the bar from the turnbuckle to the post. Let's go when Bayley has her. And here we go. Now this step out here, these two steps right here, or where I get scared because so much can go wrong. She's not going to power bomb her right here just yet, but Bayley, her body right now, that can cause the knee to blow out or any of these other things. Did it? No. Chances are no, but you're in a very, very vulnerable position. And Nia has lost a lot of weight, so I give her credit. But at the same time, she's a big girl, and you definitely want to make sure that nobody gets injured from this spot. And it's not even the finish. So you have to keep going after this. Now, what she's trying to do right here is do a Hurricanrana. Now, this is where it becomes dangerous because Nia could not flip over and put her hips above her head, which I completely understand because I can't do moonsaults. I hate back flipping, but she tried to do it kind of like how AJ used to do it from the mat, jump up and do a Hurricanrana to somebody. That style where he kind of like went to the side. So right here, I'll show you. She's doing what AJ's doing, where he tries to sweep his body to the side and kind of throw him over almost like a head scissor, not a Hurricanrana. So I get it in theory, but essentially she couldn't do that. And I'm glad she didn't because she would have landed right on her head and neck. This here would have landed there. But Bayley, the part that makes it wrestle crap and botchamania worthy is Bayley literally almost like you've seen it. She literally lands, Nia lands, Bayley's on her feet. There's one Mississippi, 1.5, and she throws herself over with a hip toss pump. So it's not so much a botch because a botch potentially could have injured one or both of these people, but it's just a goofy, like, I would have rather Bayley just literally let Nia take her bump and shook her head like, no, 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 you're not going to do that. The old Matumbo, rest in peace. No, no, no. And then started doing that. This is where even what seemingly is the most experienced WWE main roster people today in 2024, they still show a level of independent wrestling greenness and inexperience to think, well, she didn't get me, but let me take my own bump. And she sells like she got Hurricanrana. It's really just, it's sad because these girls worked their asses off. And unfortunately, what are they going to be remembered for in this match? This spot. So right here, why would you, it's just, it sucks, James and everybody out there. You know why? People laugh, and we're going to finish that up right there. People laugh enough and smirk and snicker enough at pro wrestling about being stupid, fake, phony, rolling around in your underwear. We give them enough reasons, even with good professional wrestling, to laugh at us. Then you do this, you give them every reason to mock it. And then the people that watch it and are faithfully watching it look at it and say, this isn't what I grew up watching, or this isn't what I want, or they just laugh. And both these girls and everybody who does this, and we're going to watch the cage match between Punk and Drew, there's a real danger factor no matter what you do, cage or no cage, toolbox or no toolbox, chair or no chair, hypodermic needle to the mouth or no hypodermic needle to the mouth. It is still incredibly dangerous. I'll give you an example. Rob Van Dam, one of the most durable, if not the most durable professional wrestler in history. You know how he broke his leg, James?
No, I don't.
Baseball slide drop kick.
Did he catch his leg on the mat?
I think so. So what I'm saying is that guy, one of the toughest, most durable guys, such a freak thing that he's done a million times probably before and even after. And here we are. How many times have you seen a baseball drop kick with somebody on the, against the apron? A million times. But he broke his leg. That's why I'm saying they might be like, well, she had her. They took her time. Those two little steps out from the corner is no man's land. Now you have to set up a base. The power bomb would have actually been an easier way to bump. And then Nia tries to do a backflip to give her the Hurricanrana, and it just looks silly. So I'm not going to beat both girls up for trying something new, trying something that you'd be like, oh my God, Nia did that. But Nia needs to stick to what brought her to the dance and what keeps her on the main roster. The Yokozuna thing, the big wrestler Vader type moves. Doing a Hurricanrana is not going to get her over. You know what it's going to do? People are going to appreciate her work, but you're a heel. They're supposed to hate you. Why are you doing impressive wrestling moves? So as a waste psychology wise, it was a waste just in general because you had people that could do these moves. So why are you doing something that someone else can do better? And then that's not your signature moves that you should be doing. That's just the way I look at it. So they worked
Okay,
hard. The rest of the match was good, but this is the only thing people are going to remember.
I'm going to refer back to the video in a minute. Something you said just then. You sounded a bit like Ole Anderson then, before, telling Vader to stop doing moves off the top rope. The difference is that Vader could do them. I understand that. But if Nia Jax could do a moonsault or a Hurricanrana or something like that, what would be the difference between her doing it and Vader doing it?
Well, the difference would be that not many people that size could do that kind of stuff very, very well. Right now, it is a dime a dozen type thing. And also, why are we looking at now? Vader would do moves, but Vader wouldn't counter the babyface's move with that. In other words, Vader wouldn't out wrestle you, then go up for a moonsault. Vader would beat the crap out of you. And then when you were laying there, he would decide, I couldn't beat him with this, that, and the other. If you think about it, Vader would be trying to beat, say, Sting with very ground and pound moves. Then he would be like, I got to go up to the top because I can't beat him on the mat. So let me go and pull this out of my toolbox. See, I'm using the theme still. But he did that as almost a last resort. Not the NXT, like, I've hit him with everything. What do I got to do? But it's very subtle. I hit him with this. I did this. I did a Vader splash. I did all these things. I power bombed him. He kicked out. Now I got to go up for the moonsault. Vader had really good psychology for what he could do. Also, like I said before, Vader was not out wrestling the babyface. This move here is essentially, I'm going to power bomb you, which really, in a way, in this case, is kind of a heel move. Like taking somebody and just driving them through the mat. But you're going to counter it with a Hurricanrana or head scissor that basically does nothing except have somebody take a tumble. Like it's not a move that knocks anybody out. These are the things I wish they would ask themselves and each other before they go out there. And I have no doubt, I didn't watch the whole pay-per-view. Somebody did a Hurricanrana on this show before or after or both.
I've got a theory. I don't know if you can get the video back up, but with that being said, you mentioned that Bayley stepped out. She took 2 steps out to then sort of start the momentum of the Hurricanrana. But then if you look very closely, just before Nia Jax attempts it, Bayley then takes 2 small steps back. So Bayley has lost her base. And then, so she's going backwards while Nia Jax is trying to go forward.
Ooh, good eye, James. See, you need to put your input in this. I didn't notice that. So you took 2 steps out. We're gonna play it slow. So these 2 steps come out. 1, 2, and these steps are not sure-footed steps, right? They're shuffle steps. Like I don't know if I can do that. Only this is also the danger of this. I'll bring the pen back. All right. Where's Bayley's head? Right here. What can she see? The 0. A big goose egg. You can't even see where you're walking. Her face is right in Nia's stomach. And Nia can't see where she's going because she's looking this way. So both are kind of blind right now, if you think about it. So she takes those steps out, and great catch, James. Step back. That's weird. Why would you do that? And this is weird too, because look, when you take the steps back, your feet are right near the ropes. So if she does to Hurricanrana, your heels could catch that bottom rope, and really everybody's in danger. Why step up to step back? That's very strange.
I'd suggest it's just pure, just too much weight, tiredness. I don't know where in the match this was, but you're tired. When you're practicing these matches, you correct me if I'm wrong. When you're practicing these matches hours before, you're in the ring, the pressure's off, there's no fans watching you. And also you haven't wrestled 5-10 minutes as well. So this is you are fresher when you attempt it first time, I guess. So maybe that's why she felt more comfortable to step out. But then all those factors added onto it. She loses her balance a little bit. And then, as I say, she's stepping backwards while Nia Jax is trying to go forwards. Would it have not been safer? And you just said something before then. Does Bayley have to step out a bit for the Hurricanrana? Or would it have been possible for Bayley to basically get a base on the road, basically lean in the corner and then flip forward? But you said that she may have caught her heels on the bottom rope, and that could have been even more dangerous.
Yeah, you need to step out. I understand. Here's another thing. Why couldn't she stop her, put Bayley on the second, stand on the top, and hit the Hurricanrana? She didn't have enough. She didn't have enough confidence, and I can understand it because I don't either. To put your head underneath your hips to get that flip. Here's another thing. At the basis of it all, let's back up. And if you can look this up, James, how tall is Nia Jax? How tall is Bayley? Much like when Ridge Holland and Big E, why would you give him that kind of suplex on the outside when you're probably 5 inches shorter than Big E, if not more? Do you see there? Right there, the height right there is to something that, now if Bayley is going to do that to Nia Jax, she has a heavier girl to base off of, and Nia Jax is basically taller, which means Bayley and her head can clear on the backflip. This is the opposite.
Nia Jax is billed at 6 foot. Bayley is billed at 5'6". So assuming they are putting on the same amount of height, or even if they need to, there's at least 5-6 inches difference between them.
And that's a big difference when you're backflipping and someone is shorter than you, you're going to hit your head. And I'm convinced Nia kind of knew that when she was in it and said, oh, if I go straight backwards, I'm not going to be able to, we're going to both get crunched. So I got to go sideways, kind of like Ray does for the 619, which I appreciate. But Rey Mysterio is also not 6 foot doing it to a 5'6" person. He can do it to Dom, who's taller, but Ray being shorter is literally having all those inches underneath him to sweep his head by. We asked this on the Raw SmackDown review with Russo and Ben. What's going on with the agents, with the producers? Do we have an AEW situation? We're going to talk about the toolbox spot. Do we have an AEW situation where the inmates are running the asylum? What I'm seeing here with promos and matches, we're going to talk about the Bad Blood thing, and I think I want to focus on SmackDown. You want to talk about an overbooked, ultra-violent go-home show the day before a pay-per-view. To me, what producers, writers, or Triple H for that matter, would allow these things to happen where potentially you can get hurt or it just doesn't make any sense. The agents and producers should be stopping this and saying, wait a minute, what are you guys, what are you rehearsing? No, 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 you're too short, you're too tall. Rey Mysterio, this person's on the show doing it. Why would you even bother? But there's a disconnect. Do you feel that?
I don't feel that anywhere near as much as AEW. I really don't. I think.
But we vilify AEW for it. We can't let WWE get a pass for that. Now, the cage match, one had more story than the other. We're going to get to that, but there needs to be checks and balances. And I'm one of the guys back in the day would be so frustrated about being handcuffed in a lot of ways. But as months and years went by and I got a perspective, a true, honest perspective, not my ego, an honest perspective on where I am currently on the card, what the card is, who the main events are, who are the people doing ultra-violent stuff, and where my match needs to fit in. Not have the best match on the show, but where the best match for my spot on the show. That's very important.